It's time for part 6 of my favorite demos from Steam Next Fest of June 2026. There's only a few more parts left, and how many more indie games can I possibly squeeze into these showcases? We're starting things off with the Mound. Now this is a multiplayer game, so there won't be any sound, as Thor and I were just kind of chatting the entire time as we played it. This is the next game from Ace Team, who are trading in their surrealistic designs for some a little bit more down-to-earth, Lovecraftian conquistadors. You play as part of a crew who has been sent to the New World to look for fame, treasure, and more, and we stumble upon Lovecraftian monsters in the jungle. The game itself is built very much on multiplayer. I would not recommend this game if you don't have at least one other friend to go about with. How it works is very similar to that of something like Vermintide or Darktide, that you'll choose a mission. The missions are built on relatively, it's hard to tell, I think they're fixed maps, but you can only access certain parts of the environment on each mission. From there, you'll go into the world with your friends, and you're trying to find and secure treasure in your ox cart, while possibly completing other objectives, depending upon what is happening on the mission. There is no customization in this in terms of character classes, perks, stuff like that. You'll level up and gain access to like very basic stuff, but this is not a game built on customization. Instead, everyone needs to decide who gets what pieces of gear when they go onto a mission. You have access to melee and range. And the important thing is that there is a lot going on in terms of what weapons work best where. You want to use melee whenever you can, as the jungle can become angry, and becomes angry, it will start sending more and more enemies at you. And while gunpowder weapons are very powerful, if it's raining, they don't work at all. And of course, bringing a light for when it gets dark is very important. The enemies are kind of kept relatively small numbers, but they can be very dangerous, especially when you start fighting more than like 3 or 4 at a time. And if one of your party members goes down and they die, they can come back. And this can lead to even more challenges. On top of that, the game makes use of in-game audio, like there is always voice chat on if you have a mic, and it's always directional. And you see this is very important, because the jungle can cause madness, as players can see or hear very different things. And this can lead to some very much hilarious situations.
Come for me now.
Oh, it's me! That's me!
Oh, that was you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I was in hallucination mode too.
Oh, good. So with that said, the Mound is one of those games that there is potential here, but as I said at the start, this is not the game to play if you're only looking for a single player experience. I don't think there's enough here to kind of keep you invested in it, but if you have at least 2 other friends and hopefully trust each other in terms of friendly fire, then I would give this one a try. We now go to Grim Trials. This is an action roguelite that plays and looks very similar to that of the Hades games. But we are a Grim Reaper in training, and in order to pass our trials, we're going to claim souls, power up, and go on a variety of runs. The basics here should be familiar to anyone who's played an action roguelite. You have access to melee and range, you'll need to dodge your way around a variety of enemy attacks, and you'll collect various buffs that will aid you over the course of the run. Now, the one thing that this game does do differently compared to Hades is that there is far more of a focus on meta progression and gear. After each run, you'll take the resources that you've acquired, and you can unlock more healing potions, buy and craft gear that can be used to improve your stats, get set bonuses, and much more. Now, because of that, it means that the early game does feel a little bit harder. And at the start, melee definitely has its downsides. You're just fighting so many enemies who can attack you both on and off screen that it's very hard to react in time, whereas range, you just stand back and snipe them to death. If they can kind of balance things around a little bit better in terms of making the early game giving you at least some possible chance of success, I think there's potential here for people who like the Hades formula, but looking for more like meta progression, more upgrades, and unlocks along those lines. So for the Hades fans, I would keep my eye on this one and at least give this demo a try. Now we go to Duskfade. This is a 3D platformer that's an homage to all the kind of PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era of 3D platforming. When the world is in danger, it's up to us to run, double jump, hack and slash our way through a variety of environments and collect lots of MacGuffins. Our gameplay is going to be kind of like a semi-loose open area. You have to go to at least several different major zones, collect the important items there to progress. And you're going to explore very wide environments and sometimes very narrow ones to do so. Movement here is a little bit on the floaty side. This is one of those games where your character will keep moving even when you're no longer holding a direction while you're jumping. I know it's like a little bit of like ice skate physics sometimes when I was running as well. But you'll be spending most of your time doing platforming and fighting enemies. The enemies are surprisingly challenging in this one. They can track you very well. And until you get some health upgrades and some other upgrades, it can be a little bit tricky to fight. You are able to knock bullets back right from the get-go, which does help out quite a bit. All in all, this is one of those games that what you see is what you get. For 3D action platformer fans, I would definitely give this one a try. But if you're looking for something that's like a brand new or refined take on this, I don't think Duskfade goes that far. But it can still be a very entertaining and very bright and colorful time. And now we go to Drop Command. This is an indie take on the old BattleTech and kind of mech warrior games. You are a mercenary, and you're going to have to go throughout the galaxy, complete contracts, get money, and build your kind of fleet of mechs and other vehicles up. The gameplay here is kind of again like that classic style, which I have very little experience in. And you're going to get used to a very different kind of tank style or mech style controls as you play this one. You'll be able to acquire different mech suits, weapons, pilots, and more. We didn't really get a chance to see too much of kind of the persistent campaign side of things, but I would definitely recommend this one if you are a Mech Warrior fan looking to relive your past mech glory. And now we go to Bonehold. This is a first-person, kind of like action dungeon crawler roguelike. There's an evil tower full of monsters. You have weapons. You know what you're going to do. Our gameplay here is that you'll pick from different classes, each kind of having a different perk and kind of starting gear, and then you'll go up the procedurally generated tower. The prop gen here appears to be kind of like stitching rooms together. So different rooms can have different events that can appear in them. The gear and equipment that you find are going to be randomly generated. You'll also find higher quality gear that can come with its own unique perks, and you're free to mix and match whatever combinations you see fit. You want to dual sword, dual shield, dual wand, you can do that. After a run is over, you'll take any souls you've acquired, and that is the meta currency that will unlock new classes, as well as permanent stat boosts for your character. From the demo, I really like the general feel of this one. This is more action, kind of, again, like first-person melee with some, again, spell-shooting combat, rather than being like an RPG dungeon crawler. I'm not sure how long or how big the full game is going to be, but if you are a dungeon crawling fan looking to do some ripping and tearing, I would definitely recommend you give this one a try. And now we go to Company is Watching. This is a horror incremental. You are trapped in a strange factory and forced to work until you collapse. The voice tells you not to mind the giant eyeballs that seem to keep showing up and staring at you. Why are you here? Why do you need flesh and other things to upgrade? Well, you're going to have to figure that out by doing some incrementing. So this one appears to be more on the like kind of short form story focused side. You'll do your tasks to earn money. Those monies will let you afford more upgrades, which will let you do more tasks. And as you unlock specific conditions, you will get to new areas with new machines and incrementing to do. Now, there are jump scares in this game, And it can be a little bit distracting at times when you're trying to do a job and then boom, something comes out and gets you. But I am curious to see where this one will go. We really didn't get a chance, at least from the demo, to see kind of, I guess like if there's any side content, bonus ways of manipulating things, that kind of thing. But if you're in the mood to do some scares with your number go up, I would at least give this one a try. And now we go to Lazy Witch's Factory. This is a roguelite automation game. When a lazy witch tries to do a get-rich-quick scheme with demons, she becomes enslaved, and she must work off her debt 30 minutes at a time, or else. The structure of this one is that each run takes, as I just said, 30 minutes. You'll be given a randomly generated piece of land, and you can choose from 3 demon gals as your sponsors. This determines what your starting gear you'll get, and what upgrades can show up. The rules are this. By harvesting resources and sending them to kind of the selling portal, you will earn different things based on what gets sent there. The basic stuff that's on the map will often reward you with the resources needed to produce higher quality goods, which will oftentimes come with either more resources earned, or more specifically will earn you money. In order to win a run, you must earn enough money to make X amount of payments, which those payments will get increased as you get further up the difficulty of the game. The challenge of the game is that because the maps are procedurally generated, each run you'll need to try and figure out what is going to be your get-rich-quick scheme, quite literally, for that play. Do you go for making soda, pickaxes, beer, whatever? And you'll need to have the right upgrades and of course the right characters in order to facilitate that. When you win a run, you'll earn resources from the gals or your sponsors, which is your meta currency, which is used to unlock new sponsors, new kind of passive upgrades or things you can start with, etc, etc. Now, this is by no means designed to be the next Factorio, Dyson Sphere, whatever. Everything is kept relatively straightforward. But it's a very brisk automation game with the 30-minute time limit, and I found this one to be quite charming in that respect. If you're an automation fan looking for something that's not going to take hours upon hours to play, I would definitely give this one a play. And for the last game of today's part, we go to Idle Directive. This is another kind of like story or kind of like, I guess, quest-driven incremental game. Very similar in terms of that respect to Terraformental, which was another favorite of mine. But this one goes for more of like an automation angle to it. You wake up in a strange machine with the world completely destroyed. In order to explore, you must rebuild, set up various machines and other things to power up and earn resources, and start moving around. The kind of element here is that once you kind of get set up, you'll need to earn power and scrap, or I should say metal. These are your 2 basic resources. Metal is kind of like your money that's going to be used to acquire new upgrades, and energy keeps your machine going, and you must set up devices that will earn you power. So this could be something that you have to rotate, or in this case just click on it, another thing that gets pushed and earns resources, etc, etc. There's other devices that you can find and acquire that can also earn you power, but they have their own kind of tree of items, materials, and machinery needed to be used for it. You can upgrade these machines as well to earn you more energy, and you're going to need to do that as you get further in. Once you kind of get off the ground running, you'll start scavenging the area. This will give you a random selection of materials and parts. Now, whatever is not stored in your inventory gets destroyed, and whatever gets kind of put into your actual body, that's the part in the middle, that is what's being used or is active for your machine. So this turns into kind of a resource puzzle of how do I best maximize my space to earn as much resources, power, and metal that I need in order to keep progressing. As the game develops, you'll be able to explore a very large world, There is a prestige system in this one, but unfortunately the demo ended before I could see that. And as a very important point, this is not a game about idling. There is, at least from this demo, no rewards or any kind of offline play to it. So a lot of this is going to be about you, once again, setting things up, letting it go, and then just kind of minimize the game and go do something else. And then make the big decisions when the time comes. I really love the kind of like factory angle of how you set things up with this one. And like Terraformential, this is going to be another one of those games that's going to be very deadly to my spare time. And if you are an incremental fan, this is an incredibly easy pick for you to check out. And with that, another part comes to an end. But we still have a few more nights and bonus nights of Next Fest demos coming up. You'll once again find links to the games down below. And with that, thanks for tuning in, and see everyone for more parts, more indie games, and more design talks coming soon.